What's your story? What's your sign?
Long Island, I was immediately hooked. The Emperor of Gladness, I'm still slightly undecided. I am going to pick up The Mirror because it's book 2 in the series, and I want to go ahead and continue the series. Hey besties, welcome in. I am Sabrina for those of you who don't know me, and this video is going to be the third in kind of like a series. So when we started our adventure, we were at the bookstore. I picked out a bunch of books and I really wanted to buy them, but I am trying not to buy so many books. You can see behind me, I have a ton of books. This is not even the half of it, okay? So I'm trying to reduce my book buying, and you guys are helping me with some good ideas. So we went to the bookstore. I found a bunch of books that I potentially wanted to buy. And instead of buying them, I went to the library to try to find them. I spent 10 minutes on each of the books that I found at the library, and then I decided if I wanted to check them out or not. It actually worked because I found some books that I just was like, I guess I don't actually like this book. And so I saved myself from having bought a book that I didn't really care about. So now we're on kind of like the third part of this video, which is reading the books that I checked out of the library. Now, if you will recall, or if you didn't know, I'll just catch you up really quickly. I checked out a book and then I got home and I realized there's actually a book 1. Nothing about the book told me that it was book 2. And I guess technically you don't have to read book 1 in order to read book 2, but who am I if not a completionist, right? So I felt like I didn't want to miss out on the party. So I went back to the library and I picked up book 1. So I've already read that off camera because it wasn't exactly part of this series. The book that I'm talking about is by Colin Tobin, and book 1 is Brooklyn. I literally just finished this. This one was so good. I rated it very highly, and it's funny because in the beginning I was like, this is going nowhere. This is about nothing. But I kind of knew in the back of my head from reading the first 10 minutes of Long Island that there was going to be drama down the road. Having known the first 10 minutes of Long Island, it's kind of like I read a prologue to Brooklyn. And so I know kind of sort of how Brooklyn ended. And I knew that Long Island was going to start with the drama. From what I can tell, it's going to be a riot of a good time. So I did appreciate in Brooklyn kind of like the subtle humor, the sarcastic undertones that the writer infused into the characters. So I'm excited to see more of that in this book and also to get to the freaking drama. So this is going to be my library reading vlog. This is the first of the 3 books that I have to read that I checked out that day. We'll get some vibes. I'll come back to you with some thoughts a third of the way through, half the way through, whatever. Then we'll kind of do like a wrap up at the end. Does that sound good? Let's go get started reading Long Island.
Ailish Lacey is Irish, married to Tony Fiorello, a plumber and one of 4 Italian-American brothers, all of whom live in neighboring houses on a cul-de-sac in Lindenhurst, Long Island, with their wives and children and Tony's parents, a huge extended family that lives and works, eats, and plays together. It is the spring of 1976, and Ailish, now in her 40s with 2 teenage children, has no one to rely on in this still new country. Though her ties to Ireland remain stronger than those that hold her to her new land, she has not returned in decades. One day, when Tony is at his job and Ailish is in her home office doing her accounting, an Irishman comes to her door asking for her by name. He tells her that his wife is pregnant with Tony's child and that when that baby is born, he will not raise it but instead deposit it on Ailish's doorstep. Long Island is about longings unfulfilled, even unrecognized. This is a gorgeous story of a woman alone in a marriage and the deepest bond she rekindles on her return to the place and the people she left behind, to ways of living and loving she thought she'd lost. Okay, you guys will have to pardon the random clip in the middle of this video somewhere because I'm filming on my phone with the front camera because, listen, this book is so good and I did not want to put it down and stop reading it. And also I don't have the camera with me right now. It's fine. This is terrible. The angle's terrible. The lighting is bad, but whatever. Thoughts really quickly. This is so it's riveting. It's interesting because it's slow moving. It's not like a action-packed novel. But it's riveting. I'm so into this family drama. And maybe it's just because I'm such a nosy Parker. I'm oh, what's going on? If you guys only knew how I stay in the neighborhood drama where I live, you would understand why I'm staying in this drama. Because the family drama is great. I think when I picked this up at the library, I did the first 10 minutes of it, and like right away I was like, drama. Oh my God. Like, it starts off with a bang. It is really good. It's not a fast moving book, but it reads fast, if that makes sense. Just know that our girl Eilish is going through it. And also in the same breath, not only is she going through it, but she like leaves a trail of chaos everywhere she goes between this book and the first book. I'm like, girl, she's just like leaving devastation in her wake. But it's like almost like it's not her fault. Like maybe it is, but I don't think it is. That's vague. But like, yeah, I'm halfway through the book. Like, I thought I was going to come back to you guys sooner and talk about this, but I was just like flipping pages, having a good time. So, so I'm gonna go read some more, and I'll probably just see you guys when the book is over, right? Unless something crazy happens. If something crazy pops off, I'll come back before then. But I'll probably see you guys when I end the book, and we'll collect our thoughts and we'll recap. There's no way that's how the book ends. Are you serious? Are you serious? That's how it ends? Bro, the way that this book just ended, I don't know whether I am pissed or absolutely gobsmacked. Like, first of all, I think I'm officially a Colum Tobin fangirl. Like, I'm about to go find this man on the internet and follow him. Second of all, are you kidding me? What happens next? The amount of like nothing that's really happening except for this very delicate back and forth between Eilish and Jim and like everyone that's kind of like the surrounding characters that are driving the plot forward. And then like nothing's really happening, but you can feel it like bubbling right below the surface. And like, this man is a master. I mean, I felt it in Brooklyn, but it just like was like 10 levels higher in Long Island. What do you mean? And listen, 100%. You don't have to read Brooklyn in order to read Long Island. I am here to tell you, you do not. But if you don't read Brooklyn first, you are 100% going to miss a lot of nuance in this book in Long Island. This was like wild and crazy. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say. This was so good. I was thinking to myself, like, I don't actually need to shelf trophy this book because it was just like a little bit dramatic and not a whole lot really happened. But that ending, oh my God, listen, what else has this man written? I mean, what the hell? Also, here's the other thing. Brooklyn, I think, was published like a while. What was the publication date of Brooklyn? Because I feel like it was published quite a while ago. Yeah, it was published in 2009. And Long Island, the follow-up, was published in 2024. So my guy had some time to sit on Eilish's story, okay? But like, the way he came back with it all those years later, and like, yo, here's the thing, in between the books, there's like a 20-year time period, almost the time period that it took for us to get the follow-up book. And the way he just came back with that and the way he brought it all, I can only imagine what it would have been like to have read Brooklyn when it first came out and then to read Long Island when it came out. Excuse me. This was masterful. I am so glad that I checked this out at the library, and I'm a little bit mad that I didn't buy it, but maybe I'll buy it one day. Is there going to be another one? I need Colum to tell me, is there going to be a follow-up? Because what do you mean? That's how the book ends. I need to know what happens next, okay? That's what I need to know. I need to know the follow-up. I need to know what Jim is going to do. I need to know what Eilish is going to do. I need to know what happens in America. I need to know, is Granny going to America? Is she getting on the plane? What is everybody doing? What is going on with Tony? Like, I need answers to literally everything. And why is Frank so weird? Listen, 5 stars. And I did not think it was going to be 5 stars until we got to the last fucking page. The last page brought us to 5 stars. I was like, I can give it like a 4.5. That last page, this was like a Taylor Jenkins Reid style last page. That last page just took us to a place that I did not think it was possible for us to go. My God. Oh, hey, y'all. It is
my birthday trip. I was about to not bring my camera with me at all. And then I was like, girl, you're in the middle of reading a book for a reading vlog. Or I was in the middle of filming a reading vlog, but like, how was I supposed to do that without the camera? So here we are with the camera. I'm doing a reading vlog and we're reading The Mirror, which is book number 2 in the Lost Brides trilogy. Now, this is part of the library reading vlog. So I have had this book checked out for like a month and a half at this point. It's got to go back to the library. They're not going to let me renew my loan on this ever again. So I have to finish it like ASAP. So I started on our drive here. We're at the beach. It's like 3.5 hours away from where we live. I started this book on audio on the drive here. I got 20% in, which I looked it up. That is chapter 7. And that puts me on page 88. So I am not very far into this book because it's like over 400 pages and I'm not totally sure why. So far, what has happened in the book is nothing. We have reprised the first book. We have been caught up to speed and we basically are planning dinner parties. That's about it. Nothing of consequence has really happened yet. So I'm hoping that that picks up very, very soon. I'm going to try to lock in tomorrow and read this. If I can get completely done with it, that'd be great. But I'm going to guess that I'm not going to completely finish it tomorrow, but I would love to get like to the 80% mark tomorrow. We will see how far I get, but I just thought I would check in with you guys and let you know that I started the book. And so far I'm unimpressed, but it's a good thing I got it from the library because if I had paid money for it, I would have been upset. See, this whole getting books from the library thing really saving me. You guys, we need to talk about The Mirror. Listen, I'm 71% of the way finished with this book. I am finding that I'm just not that into it. I listened to most of it on audio. I read like 1 or 2 chapters physically. I listened to most of it on audio and I was just moving my bookmark in the book to where I am in the audiobook. And I realized that I'm on page 308 of 433. And I don't know if I have it in me. The audiobook said I have about 3 more hours of listening to go. So I'm conflicted. Here's the thing. I don't know if I am not into this story and let me rephrase that. I want to know how this story ends, but I don't think I'm willing to do another 3 hours or 100 and some odd pages in this book, plus the third book to find out. That's the thing is I feel like that's too much book left in order to find out the ending of the story. And I don't know if I am struggling with putting this book down because I'm like so far into a series and like most of the series is already read and I feel like in my brain, like, oh, I should just stick it out if I want to know the ending. I don't know if it is because my sister is also reading this and like so she accidentally read this book first, which is book 2. And when I found out she was reading this, I was like, oh, what did you think of book 1? And she's like, what do you mean book 1? And I was like, well, The Mirror is book 2. And she's like, don't tell me that. So she finished book 2 and then went back and read book 1. And I think what I told her was that you don't really need to read book 1. I don't think it was kind of just world building. Like if you're understanding the story in book 2, that means you really didn't miss anything in book 1. And having read 70% of book 2, I'm going to say it is basically all encompassed in the recap, which is a good portion of the first part of book 2. So it's feeling like it's just overly wordy. And I don't know if it's because she's reading it and she is loving the series. And she's like convincing me that I should like it, or if I'm feeling like maybe I don't like it because I did make the mistake of going to go read reviews and the reviews are like literally nothing happens. They're just like party planning and eating food and dealing with ghosts at 3 a.m. And there's been nothing else that happens. And I'm like, I also just am not into the primary love story. So we have 2 different couples that are like burgeoning in this book, in this series. And the main couple, who is our girl what the heck are their names? Trey and Sonia. They're like their primary love interest couple. And I'm like, I do not feel any passion, any chemistry, any tension or anything between the 2 of them. We're just expected to understand that they love each other so much, but it doesn't come through on the page for me. And then there's the secondary couple, which is Owen and Cleo. I I feel the two of them. I feel the tension between the two of them. I feel hot and bothered about the two of them. Like I'm ready for them to get it on. I do believe their love story more than I believe this other love story. Now, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but like I think all of these things combined, I'm just kind of like, you know, but also I've made it 71% of the way through this book. Like, I feel like I should just finish it. But here's the thing. I'm trying to be true to myself this year. My goal this year is to put down books that are not serving me. So as hard as it is to admit, at 70% of the way through this book, and this being book 2 in a 3-book series, meaning I am more than halfway done, I'm going to put this book down. The good news is it's a library book, so I didn't pay any money for it. But I'm gonna put this book down. That is the end of it. If I had to give this a rating, currently where I'm at right now, I would give it a 2-star. And I would say that it is just full of unnecessary stuff. Like it feels like maybe, and I don't know because I haven't read book 3 yet, but it feels like maybe this should have been a duology and it was made into a trilogy. So we just have a bunch of extra words that are in a book. And I feel like that happened in book 1 too, so that we could build it out. I don't know why these books are 400 pages. I don't know why there are 3 of them, because I feel like there is a story here. I don't feel like it is a 1,200 page trilogy story. And maybe that is the problem. Like, I feel like I'm just slogging through these pages. So I'm putting this book down. I want to call it maybe a soft DNF. Maybe there's a season where I'll be in the mood to pick this back up and then also read book 3 and finish this trilogy, because the whole reason I started this trilogy is because I was shopping somewhere at Christmas time and I saw what I now know to be book 3. And I thought that the cover was beautiful and I almost bought it until I realized it is a trilogy and that was book 3. So I was like, well, I should go find out if I actually like this series. So for once, I am making good book financial decisions, and I checked the books out from the library before I bought the whole entire trilogy and brought it home, put it on my shelf. Because look, I don't really care that much about it. Winning. We call that winning. Yeah, I'm going to take this back to the library. I'm going to return the audiobook, and that's where we're going to leave that.
Okay, I started The Emperor of Gladness, and I am, obviously, you can see, I'm in a hotel. I am in my hotel bed, and I was thinking that I wasn't going to get very far in this book on my trip, so I didn't think I needed to record the beginning of me reading this. But like, I finished the first chapter, and I am genuinely just like, this is the best first chapter of a book that I have read in a really long time. Like, the whole chapter was like an impact. Like, it just kind of hit you. Like, and maybe that's what people are talking about when they talk about Ocean Vuong. So like, just the way that they wrote all of that is, it kind of like hits you. Like, I'm like, whoa, that was crazy. And to say, basically the whole chapter is just like describing the town that the story takes place in. But then when we get to the end, boom, in your face. And I'm like, okay, so we are off to the races with this book. This is cray. And once again, I'm using my phone. I did not bring my camera on this trip because I didn't think I was going to need it for anything. And I really needed to get that out. Holy crap. I think I understand why people hype this book up so much. But I'm 7 pages in, 1 chapter in, so we'll see. Let's hold our applause. But yo.
One late summer evening in this post-industrial town of East Gladness, Connecticut, 19-year-old Hai stands on the edge of a bridge in pelting rain, ready to jump when he hears someone shout across the river. The voice belongs to Grazina, an elderly widow succumbing to dementia, who convinces him to take another path. Bereft and out of options, he quickly becomes her caretaker. Over the course of the year, the unlikely pair develops a life-altering bond, one built on empathy, spiritual reckoning, and heartbreak, with the power to alter Hai's relationship to himself, his family, and the community at the brink. Following the cycles of history, memory, and time, this showcases the profound ways in which love, labor, and loneliness form the bedrock of American life. At its heart, it is a brave epic about what it means to exist on the fringes of society and to reckon with the wounds that haunt our collective souls. This is a story of loss, hope, and how far we would go to possess one of life's most fleeting mercies, a second chance.
Okay, so I'm about 50% of the way through the book, and I just read the pig scene. If you've read The Emperor of Gladness before, I just read the pig scene, okay? I don't know what to say. Gross. Also, this book is so it started off with a bang. I think I have a clip where I had just finished like the first chapter, which started off with a bang. And the rest of the book is not that it's not good, but the rest of the book is a lot of just meandering through High's life, and his life is sad. Which, I mean, duh, like I get it, like, right, like that's kind of the point, and that's how chapter 1 started off with a bang. We're getting some flashbacks of how he got there, plus we're getting what happens to him after chapter 1. The whole thing is very interesting. I'm actually really into this book, but it is a slow read. Like, I would ordinarily be done with this book by now if it was like a fantasy book or something like that. And it is really good, but really slow. So I'm trying to lock in tonight, and I don't know. I would love to finish it tonight, but it's already 7 o'clock. So I just don't see that happening because I am pacing this book at about 25 pages an hour. On a good day, it's a fast reading book, I can get about 40 to 43 pages an hour. That's really my top speed. I am not a fast reader. The typical is about 35-ish pages an hour. So for me to be in the 20s is like, it's just a slow reading book. Totally fine. I only pace myself so that I can know, like, based on how many pages I have left in a book, how many more hours I will need to dedicate to reading it. So when I'm planning out like my day or whatever, and I need like, okay, I'm going to read from this time to this time, or I need to finish a book by a deadline. I know. That's the only reason I pace myself on books. Otherwise, it genuinely doesn't matter. So don't think that I'm saying, oh, you need to pace yourself or like whatever. It doesn't matter. I just happen to know because of the fact that I read with reading deadlines, and I need to know how long it's going to take me to finish a book. But anyway, that's enough rambling. I'm going to get back to this book, and I will catch up with you guys. I don't know. I want to say when I finish reading it, but I may stop before I get to the end. We may check back in before we get all the way there. You guys, first of all, I am kind of at a loss. I finished this book last night. I was doing fine, and I thought I was going to be good. This book is sad through and through. 100% of this book is sad. There are some funny moments in here, but nothing about this book is not sad. This is a case study on poverty, addiction, immigration, like all of these things that are happening. And you just think about the things that people have to go through and the way they end up in the situations that they end up in through like no fault of their own. And then it's so hard to come out of it. This also dives deep into dementia and elderly care and just the ways that that plays out in society. Like, it's so freaking sad, you guys. And I was reading this and I was okay. I was feeling down, but I was okay. And then when the book ended, I was just kind of sitting there staring into the abyss. And my husband asked me, you know, what was your favorite part of the book? Or like, what did you, he was just asking me probing questions about the book. And I burst into tears, like, for real. Like, it was that sad. And I think for me, I can't remember how much of a spoiler I gave of this book throughout the vlog, but just really quickly, we have our main character, and he is a Vietnamese immigrant. He lives in a basically forgotten town in Connecticut, and he becomes the caretaker of Grazina. Not in an official channel, just Grazina's like, hey, I need somebody to take care of me, and you look like you could use a place to live. He is her caretaker, essentially. They are definitely living in poverty, and he is a drug addict. He is addicted to pills. And I think for me, the relationship that the two of them developed while he was living there, taking care of her, was such a like precious thing. And for us to get to the end of the book and the way that they were kind of like separated from each other and what he does afterwards. I mean, the book itself is just like, I'm trying not to cry right now. The book itself is just very, I guess we would call it slice of life. Like nothing in particular is happening. It's just days in the life throughout the year of Hai and the people who surround him. And so his relationship with Grazina is very precious. She's kind of one of the few people who cares deeply about him, who, you know, does something to help him out. And they get separated and it's very sad. And then at the end, it's kind of left open to your interpretation. But I would say that the majority of people read this as it did not end well. And I read it the same way. Oh my God. Okay. So, you know, I'm just going to put in spoilers. Okay. You guys can skip over it if you don't want to hear it. At the end of the book, Grazina is taken away by her son who has medical power of attorney, and she is put into a home for dementia patients. And Hai fights that. He tries to fight that as much as he can, but he doesn't have any authority. So when she is taken away, he then kind of roams around town for a little bit. And eventually he goes to his place of employment, the place where he works, which is essentially Boston Market, but that's not what we're calling it. He goes there and kind of just sees the cast of characters that he's been hanging out with all year, his coworkers. And we get wrap-ups for basically everybody who works there. And then Hai goes and he lays down in a dumpster out back. And he's telling us that he can hear his coworker over the, oh my God. He can hear his coworker taking orders over the drive-through speaker. And then his mom calls him and he's trying to say basically bye to his mom. So the way I read it, he basically said goodbye to his mom. And there's a part where, so I'm just going to kind of read the end part that just really got me. So it says, he's on the phone with his mom. It says, there was a long silence, the sound of his mother thinking. That's when he realized that he'd been falling this whole time. He just couldn't feel it. The trash forming a zero gravity cushion beneath him. I'm scared, Ma, he whispered. Of what? What are you talking about? Of what's coming, of the future. It just seems so big. That's only because you're young. Eventually it gets smaller, but don't be afraid of life, son. Life is good when we do good things for each other. He mumbled something else, the cigarette and his fingers down to the butt. What was that? Tus manos dragos. I can't hear you. Can you? Nothing, Mommy, he whispered in English, an insane beam of love for the world lancing through him. I was just drifting. And that's when he heard it. Not the river's rush, but the hogs, dragged by their hooves into the emperor's butchery. They were screaming from a galaxy far, far away inside him, and they sounded just like people. Soft, simple people who live only once. So, in terms of library checkouts, this was a fucking fantastic find. I didn't even plan on picking this up when I went in there, and I just happened to find it. And dude, if it's not clear, this is a 5-star. If a book is going to make me cry, it's a 5 fucking star. I will be picking up a shelf trophy of this when it comes out. I think I'm going to wait for the paperback to be released because it's only like 2 months away for the release. It deserves a spot on my shelf. So now I have to read more Ocean Vuong, and his writing is poetic, a subtle kind of powerful. And I just so glad that I read it. I don't know if that makes sense. I couldn't say I had a good time because it was depressing, but yeah, I don't know what else to say because I'm over here bawling like a little baby. So I am going to stop right there. Let's go all the way back. I went to Barnes and Noble and I perused the store to try to find books that I wanted to read. My challenge to myself was not to buy those books. It was to go find them at the library and check them out. In the second video in this little mini series, I tried out each of the library books that I selected and I read them for 10 minutes each to decide if I wanted to check them out. And now we have the third video where I get to read my library books at home. And so I really like this format. I think we're going to do it again at some point. I love my library, but I will say that I also have so many books at home that I need to read. So we won't be doing it too often. But anyway, since you guys made it this far, which I love you for, go ahead and hit the like button. That's how we can share love with each other. Subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And leave me a comment down below and let me know what is the best book that you have checked out of the library lately, because maybe I can go find that at my library and read that too. That's low key cool because now you guys are going to give me library recommendations. Okay, so thank you for hanging out with me and I will see you all in the very next video.